Okay, hi. It's 9:30, and the YouTube streaming thing has reversed my screen here, which is great. I think I look better in reverse. It's like mirror universe me. Only in all universes, I have the increasingly Rasputin. My beard is Rasputin curious at this point. Anyway, if you're not familiar with it from other videos and things like that, this is the Chizo Media studio slash bike repair shop slash library slash toy collection. Um, Such short notice on this stream that I doubt there will be anybody here until they find out it's going on, and by that time it may be over. But it will be here for posterity. A couple little notes. At tomorrow's episode, we've got a new episode coming tomorrow. It may be coming a little bit later than usual. I spent all my time this week so far. All my time this week. It's Tuesday, so it's scripted. It's not recorded. I'm hoping to record it tomorrow in amongst the work from home chaos that is always going on. Oh, tonight's video beer is Concrete Dinosaur Brown Rye India Pale Ale from Right Brain Brewing up in Traverse City. It's good. I never know where to look at these things. It's good, he says into the camera. Okay, so the episode that is appearing tomorrow is about contactee Albert Coe. And you might not have heard of Albert Coe because almost nobody has heard of contactee Albert Coe. There's very little footprint of him outside of his initial pamphlet that was published in 1969, exactly the wrong time to publish a contactee pamphlet, because the contactee thing the UFO thing was sort of on a downward slope in 1959, but especially 1969, especially the contactee thing. I found one newspaper article about him. I might try to find some more before I record just to see if there's any more out there. He gave an interview in 1977 to a psychologist that I haven't been able to find. I've just found references to it. And Timothy Good, UFO author Timothy Good, talked about his account in his book Alien Bases. So there's not a lot there as far as what's extant about Albert Coe, but what's interesting about him is he claims to have started having these experiences in 1920 as a teenager, and kept in touch with the same space guy all the way through the 1970s, probably, supposedly, until his death in what I believe to be 1979 from the Social Security death records that I've been looking at. Actually, looking at the Social Security death records is probably what put me behind schedule getting this episode produced. But it will be out tomorrow at some point, with the caveat that tomorrow goes right up until 11:59 p.m. So what's interesting about Albert Coe, other than the lifetime of contact that he had with Zurek, I think his name was. I forget his name. I know what it is in reverse. That's something that comes up. But Zurek, the lifetime of communication, the fact that this alien communicated through written letters sent through the mail, which is odd. It ties into some ancient astronaut stuff, but also into some of the 19th century stuff that was still floating around. Stuff like Atlantis and Lemuria, things like that. There's some brief talk of sort of the aliens came to Earth and found distinct races that they categorized by skin pigmentation. And it's like, oh, God, please, no, not this again. But they subvert that a little bit, and it turns into a kind of critique of colonialism, which mind blown at that. But it's interesting stuff. He's got an interesting relationship with this alien. that seems a little creepy in some ways. Not creepy because it's an overly affectionate relationship between a contactee, between a space brother and an Earth brother, but the fact that this seemingly very affectionate relationship started when Ko was probably 15 or 16. There's some warning flags. There's some what's that, Chris Hansen, should To Catch a Predator sort of vibes going on here a little bit. Although, like I'm saying in the episode, I watch a little too much Law and Order, and so I just jump to some conclusions sometimes. So there's that. There's some other interesting things about it. I actually reached some conclusions about this case in a way that I don't usually do. Usually I'm fairly neutral, and say something like, well, perhaps there was some kind of experience. Who are we to judge? But I don't know if it's exactly how he said. There's weird things going on here, and I'm going to talk about those, and hopefully you enjoy it. But this is because the episode is going to be a little bit later tomorrow. I absolutely intend to have it out tomorrow. It's I thought I'd do this little video preview for just a little bit, and we have some people watching, which is great considering the 9 minutes of advance warning I gave. But hopefully people can catch it after it's done, if possible. One of the things that set me a little behind on getting this one done is the fact that I spent the whole weekend at the Strange Realities conference, which was held online, put on by the fellows who run the Conspiranormal podcast, Adam and Serfiel, and they did a fantastic job. I know there were several listeners to the Saucer Life who were there, and that's great, and thanks for that support. It was so many good speakers. Alan Greenfield, if you're familiar with Hellier or Secret Cipher of the Ufonauts, Alan Greenfield was there, being like only Alan Greenfield can, sort of holding court and mostly answering questions. Joshua Cutchin talked about his Bigfoot research, and in the same way, his co-author on his most recent book, Timothy Renner, who I always want to call Jeremy Renner, the actor, although they're completely different people, did a really interesting presentation about various Bigfoot things and sort of evidence and attempts to create or sort of develop evidence about Bigfoot. And the most interesting thing I learned is that just like there are men in black who shut up UFO witnesses, there's Flannel Man who intimidates Bigfoot witnesses. And this is the most glorious thing I've ever heard, because Flannel Man sounds, I think people say, oh, he's more cuddly. No. You're a big guy in a flannel coming at you in the middle of the night telling you not to talk about Bigfoot. You listen. Guy in a suit, I don't know, I see 10 guys in a suit a day, not that big a deal. So there was that. Tim Binnall, great friend of the show, Tim Binnall, talked about his experiences at the Flat Earth Conference when he went last year. That was hilarious. Sort of on the ground Hunter S. Thompson style gonzo journalism from Tim Binnall. Greg Bishop, friend of the show, Greg Bishop was there. Red Pill Junkie. Just a literal cast of dozens, and the attendees were right in there in the chat threads and in the chat box in the after party with great questions and insights, and all around a phenomenal experience. I hope they're able to do it again next year, hopefully in person like it was supposed to be this year. But I think keeping that hybrid online element makes it a lot more accessible to people, because after the last 6 months, I am completely acclimated to not leaving what has increasingly become the Chizo Media compound rather than a studio. I'm not going to say bunker. That's a little grim when you start talking about a bunker. But anyway, new episode tomorrow. Albert Ko, contactee. I've got 20 seconds to go before this hits 10 minutes, and you got to get that thing double digits. Otherwise, it looks like you just sort of showed up and didn't have anything to say. And while I usually show up and don't have anything to say, it's the mark of a professional to come up with something to say, whether he has anything to say or not. That's my secret, and that is 10 minutes. So thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who were able to tune in live, and for the rest of you, hello, and I'm glad you're able to see this eventually. I'll talk to you later. Good to see you, or good to be seen, and see you later. I might do more of these. I don't know. Something to do anyway.